North Texas Revealed presents the saga of Teamster RS Jack Dixon. John Hugh Dixon, according to him, was 100% Irish, and Bob Lee's strongest supporter during the Lee-Peacock Feud.
John was born in Tennessee in 1808 to Dr. William Anderson Dixon Sr. and Melinda MacArthur Dixon. Family later moved to Indiana, where Dr. Anderson and his wife had 10 more children, and eventually moved to Missouri. While life was good in Missouri, prospects in Texas looked even better. The doctor and his sons wound up in Texas. Jack's father and most of the family settled in Navarro County. Irish Jack and 2 brothers all settled in North Texas. Dr. Dixon in Hopkins County. General Franklin Dixon settled in Collin County near Blue Ridge. And Irish Jack settled north of that in Grayson County at what would later be known as Dixon Mound, 2 miles south of Pilot Grove. The mound had once been a religious site for the Caddo ancestors of the Hassanai Indians. In a wide valley, the mound was located in the middle, which gave Irish Jack command of the surrounding valley, as it was the high ground for the area, offering protection and tactical advantage should it be needed. At Blue Ridge, General F. Dixon would raise his family and eventually serve in law enforcement as a deputy sheriff and Blue Ridge precinct constable. Sadly, he ended his own life with a gunshot wound to the chest after a fight with his wife in 1904. General was his given name and not a rank of any kind. The ex-constable was laid to rest in the City of Blue Ridge Cemetery. Dr. Dixon of Hopkins County, not much is known about him. It is possible that he was some type of herbalist doctor. Speculate that he might be Jack's brother, Dr. William Anderson Dixon Jr. But to my knowledge, this brother did not live in Hopkins County. However, his first son, Tom, was born somewhere in Texas. This Dr. Dixon Jr. lived in Navarro County with the main family, and 2 of his sons, Bud and Tom, would eventually be lynched along with John Wesley Hardin's brother Joe on May 31, 1874 in Comanche, Texas. Tom was 22, Joe was 24, and Bud was 26 at the time of the mob lynching. This was shortly after West killed Brown County Deputy Sheriff Charles Webb. Dr. Dixon's son Charlie would be a key witness in the killing of Irish Jack's son Billy Dixon. This occurred at Blackjack Grove, which would later be called Cumbie. Irish Jack's sister was Marion Elizabeth Dixon, wife of Reverend James Gibson Hardin, or John Wesley Hardin's parent. With his first wife, Lucy Thetford, they had Elizabeth, 1835, Illinois, and 3 children born in Missouri: Samuel, 1837, Sarah Jane, 1842, and Jonathan Simpson, 1845, known as SIMP or Dixie. With his second wife, Susanna, they had 5 children born in Missouri and 2 in Texas: William or Billy, born in 1850, Esther Ann, 1852, Mary Susan, 1854, Lydia, 1859, Sarah Jane in 1860, James Ennis in Texas in 1864, and Robert Lee in 1866. Suanna was Susanna Ricketts Johnson when she married Irish Jack. Suanna's former marriage to Andrew Johnson ended abruptly when Johnson shot and killed her father, John S. Ricketts, in his home one night in Greene County, Missouri, May 14, 1847. Irish Jack was one of Bob Lee's strongest supporters. He owned a freight company in Pilot Grove from 1854 to 1876 called Dixon Lines. His sons, William, Simp, and Dick Johnson, and nephew Charlie Dixon, were all involved with the freighting business, and all involved with the Lee-Peacock Feud at the corners. By 1870, many of the able-bodied men of the family had been killed. Billy was killed on March 6, 1868, while hauling freight to Jefferson in company of his cousin, Charlie Dixon. A group of men had followed them from the corner, and when they stopped to repair a wagon wheel, the 2 were surrounded by the men. Billy was commanded to take 10 paces with his hands up. At 7 paces, a rifle shot cut down Billy. He died instantly. Charlie was let go, and Billy's body was returned to the family at Dixon Mound, burial occurring at the SEARS Chapel Cemetery not 100 yards west of John Wesley Hardin's birthplace, FM 151 southeast of Whitewright, Texas. It's a wonder that Charlie wasn't killed there too. SIMP was killed by a patrol of the 6th U.S. Cavalry at Cotton Gin in Limestone County while hunting Lee-Peacock on February 4, 1870, and was buried at Fort Parker Memorial Cemetery in Groesbeck, Texas. Jonathan Simpson Dixon was born to Irish Jack and Susanna Dixon on November 15, 1848 in Missouri. At the time of this event, Bob and Charlie were there, but managed to get away from the skirmish. Samp, or Dixie as he was called, grew up with Wes and rode together early on. Wes idolized his older cousin and what's said of him, "He's the most dangerous man in Texas," which is a lot coming from one of the most notorious Old West killer. Charlie Dixon died in February of 1870 when Lee-Peacock's men ran down Charlie, his uncle Jack, and half-brother Dick Johnson near Blackjack Grove. Dick managed to escape the ambush. Irish Jack was let go. Dick Johnson ended the feud by killing Lee-Peacock at his home with the help of Joe Parker and another man suspected to have been John Wesley Hardin. Dick was born March 7, 1845 in Missouri to Andrew Johnson and Susanna Dixon. Richard Allen Johnson married Willa Bunch in Collin County on December 29, 1881. Together they had 7 children born in Celeste, Texas. Emma Francis, born 1883, William Arnie Johnson, 1886, Cordelia May, 1887, Ophelia G., 1892, Claude Allen Johnson, 1894, Bessie O., 1896, and Robert E. L., 1898. It's been said by most authors that Dick fled to Missouri after killing Peacock. That is possible, as they may still have had family there. However, he was never far away from the Corners. As stated previously, he was at Celeste, Texas, working and raising his family in town. The 1880 census shows Dick and Luella living at Rich Woods, Missouri, with 2 daughters. In 1900, they lived in town at 5 Kingston Street, Celeste, Texas, with 5 children. In 1910, Richard and Luella lived in Celeste, Texas, at 15A 7th Street, with 5 children. When John Wesley Hardin learned that Charlie and Simp Dixon had been killed, he swore revenge, but his own circumstances prevented it. Some of Irish Jack's daughters were also involved in the feud. In the spring of 1868, Hester Ann Dixon, Irish Jack's oldest daughter, refused the advances of a Peacock faction suitor named Elijah Clark, and her 18-year-old brother Billy shot and killed him. Another daughter is said to have helped by passing various messages and spying on the pro-Union faction in Pilot Grove, and racing back with the news to Lee Station and the camp at Wildcat Thicket. It is thought that Irish Jack died from a broken heart, having lost so many during the feud. His death also left behind 3 daughters to fend for themselves. Peacock's men threatened to burn them out. Subsequently, the girls contacted Dick Johnson for help in defending the Dixon farm. Dick promptly returned and in the end finished off the feud by killing Peacock. Irish Jack died on November 7, 1871, at the age of 63. He, his wife Susanna, and son Billy were all buried near one another at SEARS Chapel Cemetery in Whitewright, Texas, just across the road from John Wesley Hardin's birthplace.